the traditional programming languages that we have been using, the way traditionally the developers are trained to learn these programming languages, I think that will change in next few years. There is absolute need for an AI driven programming language. And
Right,
the
because
way
you go
I
ahead.
envision that programming language is that it will have something like Lego pieces. You have standard Lego pieces and you kind of use those Lego pieces to build various structures, various things from that. In today's
Exactly.
world,
And it's taken into consideration the many different facets of the software, and it realized where those gaps lie, and it have the brainstorming session with you. So
another thing is that what we will also end up doing in a year or two is to start building highly modular applications
right,
where each module or each function or each
it's its
subset
own.
of code kind of exists on its own,
Right.
and then it kind of connects piece by piece with and informs a larger structure. To come to think about it, even human life or any sort of life form is in that format. You have like cells in our body, and all these cells connect with each other to kind of give rise to this overall structure of
Yeah,
the
and
body.
they all know what they're here to do, and they do
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
right. So even our software solutions eventually will start becoming in that sense. Long ago, I participated in a conference which talked about self-organizing systems, and there are like large-scale systems that self-organize themselves in the universe. And what the theory predicts is that life eventually came because of that. Like, it self-organizes itself. Although from a religious standpoint, I disagree with that. But the point that a lot of things in the universe, they are made up of these small blocks, and they kind of come together to give rise to a larger structure which might have a very different existence of itself. So I think that's what eventually will happen with the software, where you have all these small pieces of software, and then eventually you kind of create an operating system out of it, or you create maybe a word processing machine out of it.
And I mean, even going down, you say from a cellular level, but also at a larger level, we are another modular piece to a bigger structure that we don't
Yep.
understand.
Yep. I think I went a little bit more abstract and more meta in a sense, but uh,
No,
but from I think as Lego pieces, I think in couple of years you'll start seeing that software is will become more or less like connecting bunch of Lego pieces, where there are people who are creating all this small Lego pieces of different nature, and a non-programmer can effectively take all this objects and build a product.
does GitHub sort of resemble what we're talking about to some extent right now?
A cleaned up version of GitHub would be, because right now anybody can put anything on GitHub, but say you kind of take like a very subset of highly efficient codes that are there on GitHub and create this small pieces, and then let the people start using those pieces to connect. So then it just becomes drag and drop. You'll start seeing like drag and drop kind of wizards where you can do it, or you can just give like instructions, human instructions, that hey, you can say, hey, authentication module, can you add it? And then can you add like Facebook login? Can you add a Google login to this? And on my profile page, I want like a picture to be captured in
This is
high
a cool
resolution.
idea.